So hi everyone, I hope that all of you are doing really great. In the previous session or in the previous video, what we have learned is in our Java what is if else statement and how to write that one. Okay, and I hope that that one is totally clear to you guys. So today we are going to learn a new thing, that is switch statement. Like it is also a conditional thing, using this switch also we perform conditional task, and we will be learning that how to write how to write the switch statements in our Java, right? So first let us try to understand what is a switch. So what is a switch case, right? So if I try to explain you, if you're working with if else, like we have worked with if else, right? So in if else what we can do is we can perform multiple tasks, like giving multiple conditions in different ways. But if you're having to work with something like working with same variable, or you can say working with same thing and multiple or repeatedly times you are having the same type of conditions, then we simply work with switch case. If I show you that a difference, this side I am writing if else and this side I am writing switch, right? So in switch case what we have is specially variable, and in that string like a, you are having some values like plus or minus or something like this one, any value of a string, right? And then we want to perform some task by checking this one with variable a itself. We are having a switch statement, inside that we are having this variable a, and inside that we have our condition cases. Like in switch we have different cases, like we check that if it is plus, then we perform some task, and then we have a break statement. Then we have another case, like if we want to check it with minus, like if the variable a is having minus inside it, then we want to perform some task, then we have a break. Then we can give another case like division or multiplication, then we perform some task and then we have a break. Like this we specially work with switch case, like taking an example of calculator. So this one is specially an example of a calculator. But same thing if you want to work with if, so what we have given here is we checked if a equal to this one plus, then we work something, then we have given another else if, then we have given a equal to minus, right? Then we perform some lines of code, then again else if, then we have a equal to division, then we perform some code and again else. So like this, if we have written this one, so what happens here is our code becomes longer. Writing this a and equal to for several times makes our code longer memory. It means it takes a large memory, like if you're writing the same code repeatedly, right? But instead we don't use if else statement, we use switch statement, like having the same thing, like we are having a same variable in both, means in all the statements, means all our conditions. But when we work with switches, we are having different switch cases. We are performing, means we are checking in the first condition it is like a string, then we are performing something and then we are giving an else, and we are performing the condition with something else, like we are having a variable that is 60, which is an integer type. But in switch we can use only a single data type, that is that can be either a string, means a string, an integer, anything, but it should be a single type. We can't have multiple means or different things inside our switch, but inside if else we can have that one. So it is a basic difference of switch and else if, and I hope that it is clear, like where we use switch and where we use if else statement. So let's jump into the coding part and let's just see that one, right? So I have opened a basic code for you all guys, that is a simple class, and inside that we have a main function. And if you are seeing the previous videos, I hope that it is clear to you guys, what is this, means what I have written here, right? That what is a class and what is a main function. So now I would like to take an input basically from the user, and I would be giving the switch statement accordingly, right? So first of all, let me import that one first. Import java dot utils this one, right? So we can use our scanner class, right, to take the input. So first of all, I would define a scanner class to take, means this one I am doing especially to take the input from the user as a string format. So now we are having a simple variable that is a string variable a, and inside that we are taking the input from the user. So now I would like to add our switch statement. So just see like how we write our switch statement. So for switch we have simply write in small case switch, and then we give a bracket and we pass the variable like using what we want to actually give our conditions, right? And then we have the braces, second braces, and then we have the cases inside our brackets, right? So we will give the cases. So for cases we simply write cases, and then we want to perform the like case. So in my case we are having string for our operations, right? We are taking the string as an input. So I would be checking it as the plus, means my first case is plus. So I have given the case that is our plus symbol, and then inside this case we want to perform our task, right? So we will simply give what we want. So I would print this one. So I would system.out.print, and I want to print add, okay, like what the user has inputted, right? And after that we have a break statement. So we would write a simple break statement, right? So this is how we simply define a case. We have a case, inside that we have means our task, that is our in my case I am giving a simple print statement, and then after that we have a break, so that after this task is done it simply comes out of this switch statement like whenever it is finished, right? So now we have other cases also, like for division, subtraction, multiplication. So let's just give that one, right? So I would copy this one simply and I would just paste it, so it would be easier for me to work, right? But make sure of this one, that is our spacings, right? Indentation should be right, or it won't work actually if the indentation is wrong. So this one I would give subtract, then other cases we have that is our division position symbol, so we can write, and the last one I will not be right. So I would only this one. Okay. So if I now run this one, what will happen is whatever this one means the user will input, it will display. But like take an example, like I am like giving the cases with this 4 only, right? But if the user like input 1, means if the user has entered 1, so what will happen? Nothing of this one will work and the user won't get anything, right, as output. So for that we have a default case in our switch, like if the cases doesn't matches, we have a simple default case which would work like if the cases doesn't matches. So we would give a simple default case, that is our default, and in default we doesn't have any case to perform. So we simply I would give a print statement. So system.out.print, I would print a wrong input, so the user can understand wrong input, right? And then we can give a break statement. And now our switch case is perfect to, means a good fit to work. So let me make this one a little bit smaller so that whole thing comes, means you can see the whole thing, right? So we first of all we are defined a scanner class, then we are having an input from the user, and then we are having a switch statement in which we are performing with different operators, plus, minus, division, and multiplication, right? So let us just run this one and let's just see like how our code work actually, right? So let me make it bigger and let me increase the font size, right? So it is showing enter an operation. So first let us test with our first operator, that is plus, and if I hit enter you can see that it has printed add. This means our switch statement is working fine for addition, right? And let us just test with the other ones also. So in this case I would give a multiply, and you can see that it has printed multiply, right? And if I test it with other things, like if I give this time division, or let us give subtraction, you can see it has printed subtract. And if I run it again to show you the division also, so I am giving this one now, and it is showing divide. So you can now just see that how switch statements work actually in Java, right? And the thing that I was talking is the default one, right? So for default I am giving a simple value, like I am entering G. So you can see that it has printed wrong input. Like if the cases doesn't matches, then it simply goes into the default one, that is wrong input I have showed to the user. So this is how we write actually switch case and how we work with this one, right? Now you can have anything instead of string, like you can have integer value, like having a number like 50, 60, 78, anything, and you can work with that in switch case. So I hope that now the difference is a bit clear to you, like when we use switch case and when we use if case. If case we can means if else conditional statement we can use many times, like mostly we use that only because we have different tasks to perform with different conditions. And when we are having a condition with same operator, or you can say like having a condition with the same variable for multiple times, then we use a switch statement, right? So I hope that this one is clear to you right now. So if you have just liked this video, just hit the like button and subscribe my channel. I am a bit regular with this Java course. So yeah, just thank you for watching, and bye bye, have a great day. Okay.